Welcome to Behind the Scenes. We are at the Olympic trials. We just watched the day of podium training. It is June 26th. Podium training just happened. We have a lot of news for you because there was a lot of things happening at podium training. Welcome to the #1 gymnastics podcast in the galaxy. I'm Jessica and I'm here with Spencer from the Balance Beam Situation. Spencer has a clickable code of points, which is a gift to all of our lives. Welcome to our immediate reactions live podcast without the deep analysis we usually do on the weekly show. This is how our special coverage works. Every podcast we do here is publicly available. The headlines are for everyone. Each episode continues with some live Q&A, more discussion. That's bonus content for the club members because they sent us here. They paid for the trip. So if you're a club member, switch over to your members only feed, which instructions are in the show notes for that. So let's start talking about the saddest.
Oh my God, how many warnings does this podium training show need?
So
emotional
many
warnings, physical warnings.
All of it. Hug something now.
Yeah. All right, so tell me, you were there.
I was
tell me what happened.
Watching afternoon, tweeting about what's happening, making my notes for the live show. I'm watching Skye Blakely, killing it on vault. Cheng looks higher than ever. Killing it on bars, higher than ever, making every beam routine, stuck every dismount on bars, goes to floor, all of a sudden it gets quiet, and I'm like, wait, what's happening? I look over, and there's just a huddle of people in medical on the floor, and I was like, oh no. Skye did a double layout. From someone that saw the beginning, it looked off from the punch. She was very quickly taken off the floor and just was crying, hands over her face, and was wheeled out. It wasn't lots and lots of time for assessment, which makes me think they knew immediately what it was, and her foot was pretty dangly when she was taken off the floor. So there's no official word on it, what it is, so we will not speculate on what it is, but it's not looking good. And it's so sad because, like, literally I tweeted she's winning podium training.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know Simone Biles is there.
Yeah, but just like at nationals, and then everything was going great, and now it's ruined.
This is the second Olympic trials that the meet has been over for her before it started. At Olympic trials in 2021, started her Yurchenko round off and ended up in a crumple on the front of the safety lip on the vault table. It's like, and she is the loveliest person. She's just, if you want good things for someone, you want it for Skye Blakely. And she's also done all the extra training. She does extra, like she's doing all the things you're supposed to do as an elite, like not just going to the gymnastics gym. She does cross training at a, PT, slash, athlete training gym, along with some of the other gymnasts that are in her area, not just from her gym. She has a sports psych. She's just has like such a lovely attitude about life. It's just, I feel so awful for her, and it really sucks because she was in our preview. I'm like, yeah, Skye's gonna do it.
Well, yeah,
she's gonna make the team.
Without what happened on floor, she was right there. Yeah.
I'm really, really sad for her, and send her goodwill messages. Who knows if she'll see them, but I'm sure on her, I don't know if you can send her messages on her Instagram or something, but I feel it sucks. What was nice to see is that while she was wheeled out, her coaches are still on the floor because Khalil Lincoln, her teammate, was still there doing floor routines. Khalil Lincoln, like a champion trained athlete, continued her warm up, finished her routines. And as that was happening, all the other coaches were going over to Skye's coaches, who are also Kalia's coaches, and giving them hugs. And, just everybody knows how devastating that is to have happen. And then after Kalia was done, then lots of gymnasts and coaches also went over to Kalia and gave her hugs and asked her if she's okay. I saw Tiana go over, Cecile went over, Kelly Hill. It just, that part of it is like when you see why this is bigger than sports, and it is heartwarming to see that part of people caring for each other. But it really, really sucks. I do have one bright spot of breaking news to tell you about.
Okay.
According to the German gymnastics broadcast for their national championships, Olympic championships, their Olympic championships, their Olympic trials meets that they had. It's like a series. I don't know exactly what they call them. Uzbekistan has officially petitioned the FIG for exactly what Spencer said they should have, which is explain what this is.
I said that they have legacy spots available, 2 in the men and 2 in the women that are reserved for previous champions who may, through various circumstances / maybe not being as good anymore, didn't qualify on ranking. But you want them in the competition. Like in tennis, Naomi Osaka, who was like, I'm going to have a baby and then I'm going to come back and I'm almost all the way there, but not ready yet. They were like, yeah, but you should be in the Olympics. I said that gymnastics should have that. The problem is they don't have that.
They don't have it.
So you can't request it now because it's not the rule.
No, it would be super unfair, but there is an available spot.
Yeah. Maybe that was New Zealand's whole plan all along.
Get Chuso to the Olympics.
Yeah.
Thanks, New Zealand. One thing to thank them for. So let's discuss some other breaking news that happened at this meet.
Yeah,
there was a Cheng.
I have a lot of concerns, but also good things.
Yes.
Cheng, which is what we had kind of heard leading up to, that like everyone's adding a Cheng. That was like the rumor news before trials. It was like everyone's just like chunging up a storm. And Leanne Wong did a Cheng. Did a few today.
Yes. And the first one I was like, it was sort of like all over the place, and I was a little like, wait, what happened? Then I was like, wait, she's facing that way. Oh, that was a Cheng. And then they got better and better as she did them. I think she did 3 or 4, and each one got better, and I was so excited to see that. The other thing about Leanne Wong is she did her floor warm up and did her Arabian double pike so high that she almost Chris Brooks herself onto her face. She was so high that she didn't almost like hyperextend when she landed. She almost opened to no feet and landed on her face.
It's called a Dos Santos Shushanova.
Dos Santos.
Dos Shushanova.
Dos Shushanova. And so she stopped herself and Owen stopped herself at the same time, and they were cracking up about it. Her bars look good. She does have 4 kips in her bars. So that's the only bummer. You need to have 3 or less to be in the top of the all maximizing.
That's the rule.
That's the rule. Everybody knows that.
Yeah.
What else do you have any other comments, concerns, thoughts about Leanne Wong?
I mean, I'm excited about this Cheng as a possibility, especially given, in general, I just like burned all my spreadsheets today after podium training because Skye is injured. We'll talk about my concerns about how much time Chiles has had to train and how podium training has been looking. Jordan Chiles had a concerning moment on floor, but did get up and continue.
Yes.
So there was that also. And I was kind of like, so everything that happened is gone.
She full twisting double layouted it to a very short landing, which we've seen. And then she just she talked to medical. She sat down, she talked to medical for a sec. Then she just stood there for a long time. She did do a whole routine, which I was like, why? Do it now. You don't have to. And then she did vault. She did a lot of half on.
Lay half.
Lay halves. The one good thing about this is that fantasy closes an hour before the meet starts on Friday. So you still have there's always a bright side. Chuso
that's the same importance.
It's obviously the same
Skye
importance.
Blakely's Olympic dreams and all of our hearts being broken and GymCastic Fantasy League.
Yeah.
Same. It's the same.
All the same. George asks, is Leanne only doing one arm on her Chengs?
That's what Scott tweeted. So that is what I'm going with.
He was on that side closest to her. So he had the best view.
Which is a 2-point deduction. So, don't do it if that's what's happening.
Yeah.
The Skinner rule.
Yeah. They did add that after she did many a one-arm Cheng.
After Michaela Skinner was like, you know what vault is? It's just floor with a thing in the way. So I'm going to do a double twisting double layout with my hand going whip. And then that's a vault. And everyone was like, it's fine.
I think.
I mean, later she added, it improved.
Yeah.
She added a second hand as needed.
So maybe she's going to do it, or maybe she was just like, excuse me, Chellsie, Tatiana, selection committee, Jesse DeZiel. Excuse me, do you want to watch this vault that'll be perfected by the time if you put me on the team for Paris, I'll have it ready. Here I go. Wow, I'm going to do it again. Ready? Here I go. Are you watching? There's also that part of podium training.
Yeah.
Jade Carey.
Yes.
Busted out an Amanar today.
Yeah. So do we think that is Vault 1 plan, or is that Vault 2 plan? 2/10 less than the Cheng in D score. The Cheng hasn't been getting like an awesome execution score so far this year. So do we think maybe they're like, Amanar might score better, even though it's
the way she did them here, I would expect her to do the Amanar first, see how it scores. And then if it's not scoring as well, maybe she'll go back. But she did it first here. And Simone was coaching her. So you guys, when we get
Coach
to
Simone,
the scenes,
it's happening.
when we get to the behind the scenes section, I have so much to tell you about Simone and Jade. Yeah. So, but what did you? I missed her floor, but Scott had a better view. Did you look at his tweets? We're talking about Scott Bregman of the Olympic Channel.
Yes. Yeah, probably. But I don't have anything for you. You were the one who was there, Jessica.
I was there, but I missed her on floor.
I was hooked up to this stupid purse.
Oh,
that I'm showing you on the trying to, but it got caught.
Oh no!
That's my day. That's my day.
Spencer is showing his attractive chemo purse.
My attractive chemo purse that I'm hooked up to right now.
Don't pull it out of your alien implant.
Yeah, I would really rather not do that. So
no,
I should probably stop showing it.
It would probably be really bad if you pulled that and it squirted all over the room.
Oh, yeah, that's bad.
Evacuate? Yes.
They have precautions against that.
Okay.
There are all these things, these anti-drip things.
They give you like a hazmat suit.
Scott did say that Jade did have like a front tuck step out trip.
Oh, that's right. That was what she did. Okay, so basically, who was the Russian in London who was like going last on floor and she did a front tuck to her head?
Are you thinking about Grishina's back 1.5 to smush?
Yes!
Her iconic?
Yes, Jade did a hilarious tribute to Grishina.
Yeah.
By doing a front tuck step out to a head spin half turn, and then laughing hysterically in a squat position, and then being like, okay, we'll go try this again. And then she did it perfectly. But it was hilarious, and it fit in with the whole day because she was...
I feel like that was more fun than the rest of the day.
Yeah, that was...
Jade was like, my era was a fun one.
Well, hers was before Skye. Yeah. So there was that. All right. We did have a high performance team press conference, and I just want to talk about some of the things that happened in there because I feel like Chellsie and Alicia are basically Hansel and Greteling us with breadcrumbs of we're not going to go by the highest scoring team unless the highest scoring team we're not going to go by the rank. We're not going to go by rank all around order unless the team that's the highest scoring team also happens to be rank all around order. And
I will believe it when I see it.
Okay.
And then I would be very pleased. And I would give it a round of applause if they go with the highest scoring team.
Alicia said when asked if this was something that was they did on purpose or if it was just happenstance that they were going by rank all around team, she said, no, it's just happenstance. We're not doing this on purpose. This just happens to be the teams that worked out. And the follow-up should have been, what about Khalil Lincoln? But justice for Khalil Lincoln. But the other thing that was asked was, is Olympic experience important? And Chelsea Memmel said, might not be necessary. And then she said, our team, pointing to Alicia, 2008 Olympic team, we didn't have any experience and we did all right. So I feel like these are clear. And she did say this team probably will have Olympians on it, Olympic experience, or like, have you met Simone Biles? Like, duh. But
yeah. Okay, so I have multiple questions.
yes.
The first one is Suni now like your number 2 lock for the Olympic team?
100%. She's going to come in second, just like the last time, or maybe beat Simone again, like last Olympic trials, and then Simone beats her overall. Yeah. Especially with her added full twisting double A out on floor.
Yeah. Which is like the one thing, it's like, it makes you super nervous, and then you hear that it was beautiful, and you're like, okay. But just like these U.S. gymnasts, and they're adding tumbling difficulty on floor, I'm like, read the room. This is not what's scoring, and you're making me nervous about, like, judging by how floor went today in podium training. You're all making me nervous.
This is where we pause for Spencer to have a rage meter about
it's not a rage meter, but I'm like, or how about add difficulty on floor, but don't shift your feet after you land your leap so it looks like you didn't get it around, which is my current pet peeve about the U.S. gymnasts and their dance elements. It's like, you're actually getting that split leap full around, but then when you land, it's not quite the way you practiced, so you're like whooping around your feet, and it's like, okay, precision is the deduction for any season, everybody. Put that on the wall of your gym instead of like persistence, teamwork, effort. Just precision is the deduction for any season.
I want to talk some more about Suni and the Auburn article, the article that came out about her in general, but mostly about what she said about being at Auburn. She did add her on bars, her Nabieva Hardwaj's back, 6'4"-ish D.
She did 6'4" today without connecting the Van Leeuwen and with a giant fall instead of the toe fall. Yeah.
Which, don't add that now. Just hit your routine.
If she hit a 6'4" right now, like, no trouble.
And it was beautiful. It was absolutely gorgeous. I do want to talk about Chilese a little bit. She looks like she's in class. Well, here's what I'll say. I'm worried about her conditioning. She doesn't seem to have the endurance. She did hit both halves of her bar routine. Beam was a problem. Sarah did say in an interview today that she's in classic shape now. They took a week off after championships. There's a small tear in her labrum, which there's a million gymnasts that have had a labrum tear in their hip or shoulder, and they go forever with it, and some never get it fixed. That she's not in pain. She feels good here. But besides bars, it didn't seem like, I don't know if the plan was not to do a full bar routine today. But I was just a little bit worried about her
having enough numbers, basically.
Yes.
That it was, because so Sarah said they took the week off after championships. So it's like, it looks like she hasn't had the numbers, but do we think, a couple days until the first day of women's competition is enough to get those numbers? Or are we worried about what if she falls a bunch of times? Like, I feel like with Chilese, if she's going and then like one day she's off on the Arabian on beam, that's fine. That's fine for trials. But if it's like abbreviated routine or multiple falls on bars or beam, then it's going to be putting it in the hands of the selection committee to decide based on her ability and previous results. Which, if you're me, I'm like, yes, I've seen Chilese do gymnastics. If you think it's just a matter of she needs a little bit more time to get the numbers up, then obviously you put her on the Olympic team. But would they if her all-around score isn't there because she has a bunch of mistakes at trials?
Yeah. That's the question.
That's the question heading in. But we'll see. 2 more days of training.
Right.
We'll see if that's enough to get comfortable.
Yep. I have some behind the scenes stories to tell you, but before I tell you that, I do want to remind you guys that tomorrow is men's start, and there's a person that I want you to look out for. They call him Tater Tot Tay Costa. He is on the Illinois team. He was literally run over by a bus in a bike accident. His legs were crushed. He came back from that. He's a walk-on to the Illinois team. Wasn't very recruited. They loved him. Let him walk on the team. He came back from being run over by a bus and having a father who was run over by an ice truck when he was little and was like in a body cast. Like, my dad was in pain his entire life. Do you know?
Now we're talking about you.
I
thought you were still talking about.
No, listen, I am talking about Tater Tot. How dare you? I'm just saying, my dad was in pain his entire life. And so for this gymnast to come back and my dad also did gymnastics, and that's how I got to gymnastics. And he said it helped him so much with his pain. But anyway, for him to come back from this and be able to do elite level gymnastics is freaking amazing. But this is the even more amazing part, Spencer. Mm-hmm. He D-scored his way onto the developmental national team and 2 Olympic trials. He fell like 8 times or something at championships, but he qualified because he worked on his D-score, so he would have a D high enough to get on the developmental team and get actual funding. So now he has $1,000 instead of no money to do gymnastics, and $1,000 a month, not total, $1,000 a month.
I mean, basically, $1,000 a month is also still not enough.
Yes, so it's not enough.
Might as well
at
just
all.
be like $0.01 a day.
But it's better than negative cents per day. Anyway, it's a genius. The Illinois coach's plan is a genius. This guy is amazing. Watch him, Tate from Illinois.
Can you tell us, Tate, do you have a last name, or are we just supposed to like watch the broadcast for Tate? And just yell Tate on the street and see what happens?
Sorry, I'm sitting next to the air conditioning. It seems to be. Yeah.
Oh no, God, Jessica in a hotel room. She's gonna start telling you there's black mold coming out of the air conditioning, and they're gonna move rooms.
I didn't cover it yet. Oh, I already told Spencer all the stories about the travel stories. Okay, but I want to tell you about Simone and Jade and some things that happen behind the scenes. But this is where our conversation continues for our Club Gym Nerd members who paid for our trip, who support us all year long, not just during the major meets. So if you aren't a member, you can join at gymcastic.com and join the club tab. And if you're not a member, we will see you back here on Friday after about 45 minutes after the Women's Day 1. And we will do this again. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you then. So here's what happened. Jade and Simone were like, they're in the same rotation. To hear the rest, join Club Gym Nerd.